Good morning everybody, this is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. It's December the 22nd and we're looking today at Revelation chapter 13. Now in the Home Bible College notes we call this chapter the wild animal, and certainly we have a beast that rises up out of the sea. My password for today is found in verse 1. John says, I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. And he describes this beast as having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns are 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. He says, the beast which I saw looked like a leopard, his feet were like the feet of a bear, his mouth was like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him power and his seat and great authority. So immediately we see dragon, who is Satan, who is on the earth, causes this wild animal. Now he's wild in the terms of God's perspective. Whenever God looks down upon men, he sees them as wild animals. But whenever men look up to these people, they are thought of as being great statues. But God looks down from heaven and sees them as wild animals. We might ask why he was like a leopard. A leopard is the fastest of the animals and sweeps in very quickly to conquer his enemies. His feet are like the feet of a bear. Terrible. The blows of this beast in terms of military power will be absolutely crushing. And also he has the mouth of a lion. It cannot go unnoticed that the leopard in the book of Daniel was describing the Grecian Empire and Alexander's conquest in particular. The bear, now that's a difficult one. Some people think that this is Russia, the Russian bear. Others think that this is the Iranian bear. Difficult to know. It could be either one of them, I'm not sure, but we can certainly see that this beast has certain features that are terrible when we see them, and he has a mouth like a lion. And of course the Babylonian Empire was the empire that worshipped the lion, and so therefore he has some of the features of the European Empire, the Iranian Empire probably, and the Babylonian Empire. And the people of the earth worship the beast and they worship the dragon. The dragon is Satan. But he is only able to perform his blasphemies for 42 months. That's 3.5 years. That's the 3.5 years of the Great Tribulation. He opens his mouth in blasphemies against God. He blasphemes God's name. He blasphemes God's tabernacle. And he blasphemes the righteous who dwell in heaven. Now it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. Some people think that the beast will only be a small European power, but here we see that he will be given dominion over the whole earth. And especially all those that dwell upon the earth who worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life. Now the book of life of the Lamb is the book that is kept by God of those who are righteous, because not only do they live righteously before their covenant God, but also they will live in resurrection or in glory before the Lord, and the wicked will perish. They will perish. And we have that famous phrase in verse 9, which we see throughout this book of Revelation and also in Matthew a great deal. If any man has ears, let him hear. What the Lord is saying is, if you can hear me, let me speak to you. If you've got ears, let me speak into your ears. Open your ears and listen to what I have to say. He also talks about here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And then in verse 11 we see another beast. This one doesn't come up out of the sea or out of the world. This is one that comes out of the earth. So I take it that this is referring to the false prophet who will ascend up out of Israel, I think, and he will cause everyone to worship the first beast, and he will do great wonders. He will be a miracle worker and a wonder worker. He will make fire come down from heaven in the sight of men. Men are very gullible. When they see a terrifying miracle, they automatically assume that this is in the power of God, and that of course is not the case. And he also causes men to receive the mark in their right hand or on their foreheads. Now the mark is something which may be a tattoo, or it may be something on the skin, but certainly it is a mark of slavery. And this is why even in today's times, a person, when he salutes, always takes the palm of his hand and puts it against his forehead, and it's possible to see whether he's a slave because of the mark on his hand or on his forehead. So when people do this, it means that they are showing that their hands are empty, that they do not have a slave's mark. Now there is some debate as to what the mark of the beast is, according to Walid Shubat. Right in the middle of this passage in Revelation 13, we have, he thinks, 3 Aramaic words, not Greek or any other language, but 3 Aramaic words. And it has been interpreted and it's been understood that these 3 words were 3 numbers, 666. But he's quite adamant, and I think he may carry the day on this, that the 3 letters, which we think are 3 letters in Greek, are actually 3 words in Arabic, which designate Allah, the God of the Muslims, as being the person that is described on the mark of the beast. I'm not sure about that, but I think that it's more likely to be true than not. So we have this amazing passage. We have the wild beast that comes out of the sea, and we have the wild beast that comes out of the earth. And these are going to be perilous times, and this is going to be a time of great tribulation, the Lord Jesus calls it. It is the second half of the 7 year, the last 7 years of Daniel's 70 weeks. And in the last 3.5 weeks of those years, which is only 42 months, these wild beasts, these wild men, empowered by Satan and by the dragon, they will wreak havoc upon this world, and they will cause men to blaspheme God. Isn't it wonderful to know that if you're a Christian, you'll never see these days, that the rapture will be next, and that we might see it, but we'll see it from heaven. But the covenant people, ancient Israel, will see these days, and they will finally wake up, and the scales will fall from their eyes, and they will cry up to the Lord, and they will live righteous lives, and they will fear God, and many of them will be martyred for their faith in God, but many of them will live through it, and those that endure to the end will be saved. That's the wonderful thing of those days. Well, God bless you. Look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.